Don't want you to use
Is this ball big enough for us? No, we need big balls.
So padding for your head. Have you got the padding for your head? Yes, she has. Padding for your head and a spot on the wall. So we might have to move a few things maybe. A few bags or... Thank you, Dad. Yeah, you're going to star jump against the wall, Carol. So you need a bit of space around you. So Martina, see how you don't want any bags around you or stools or chairs. So Bruce, you don't want, yeah, all that stuff that's there, just move it away from the wall. Is that your piece of wall? I love it. Is that your piece of wall? There's still plenty back on this back wall. You'll just need to move a few things. Okay. So go for a walk first. Sorry, you're all set up and go for a walk. And just get a sense of your walking at the moment. And how's this idea of where the top of your head is? Where's the top of your head? And really notice, do you keep the top of your head in one place, which is if you were carrying a load on your head? No? Or do you allow the top of your head to move a little bit through space? And if the top of your head is moving through space, what does it do? Does it go more left, right, or forward, back? And come back to your place on the wall. So you're going to find a way to stand and put the top of your head on the wall with padding. And your hands are going to be each side of your head. So your hands will be each side of your head. Yeah. Top of your head, Madhavi, that's your forehead. That's your forehead. Top of your head. Top of your head. And simply notice how high you are on the wall or how low you are on the wall. If you have your knees straight, if you have them bent, just simply notice that first. How far your feet are from the wall. And very gently, with your head in the place that it is at the moment, could you walk just a little bit further away from the wall or a little bit closer to the wall? Just find a place where your head feels most comfortable or more comfortable. And then because you've got your, where your head is, just check where your head is in relationship to your feet. Does it look as if it's a little bit more over one foot than the other where you have it? Or does it look, if you tracked a line down, would it be smack dab in the middle? Okay, leave that, take your head away. So just notice where you are. Lie down on your back just for a moment. With your knees bent up. Just find a spot anywhere. Anywhere, it's not important. Place your hand on your upper chest or somewhere on your sternum and very gently begin to do a little movement of 12 to 6. 12 to 6 with your pelvis, with your head. And just feel, how does that go through me? How easy is it with my legs bent? So we did this the other day. Just feeling, and then take your feet a little bit further away from you. Just a bit, and do it again. And you're really sensing, how does the distance my feet are from my pelvis influence how this movement goes through me. Feet further away. Again, really notice. And notice, how wide do you have your feet compared to what you had them on the wall? When you had your head on the wall, do you have your feet wider here? Do you have your feet the same distance? So you might want to see if it's influenced by the distance of your feet as well. This movement is influenced by the width of your feet. And gradually keep taking your legs lower until they get to straight. And really just for you, feeling how the length of my legs influences this easy movement of 12 to 6. And again, you know it's easy when your head and your pelvis are connected. Head goes to 12, pelvis goes to 12, head goes to 6, pelvis goes to 6. And then find the place for you where it felt easiest, where you felt more of you was involved. Where was it for you? Where you just sort of felt, yeah, that was easier for me. To feel more of myself, able to soften, to be involved. Great. Come up to standing. So a general question that I would ask you is, many of you put your head on the wall and had your legs pretty straight. How easy was it for you to feel this line through you with your legs straight? If it was really easy, feel free to have your legs straight. If it wasn't so easy, maybe you want to get down a bit lower and let your legs be bent a little bit. Let's try it. And just see, does that make a difference? Doesn't mean you have to be really low, but is there a difference if my knees are a little bit bent in how I can walk forward and how I can walk back, compared to some of you who had your legs very straight? Your hands must be on the wall at all times. Why do your hands have to be on the wall? So that you can organise. It's more of a constraint to find you can still find freedom in your shoulders, freedom in your upper chest, and your hands have to stay in one position. Okay. So once you've found where your feet want to be, where your head wants to be, your hands are exactly at the level of your head. So your right hand is to the right, your left's obviously to the left, and you're going to very gently just roll your head just a little bit up and down on the wall. Top of your head a little bit up a little bit down. Feel how that goes through you. And then you're going to roll your head a little left and right. You're just sort of finding the top of your head, just exploring the parameters of, is the top of your head one point, or could you have a bit more of a circle where the top of your head is? Okay. So you've got that now, top of your head, and you're going to start rotating your head, turning your head to the right to look towards your right hand. Turning your head to the right to look towards your right hand. How do you do that? What do you do through the rest of you? What do you do with your shoulders? And where does your weight shift on your feet? Where does your weight shift on your hands? So you're turning, you're rotating the top of your head around itself. Your hands must stay on the wall. And then turn it to the left. What do you do when you go and turn your head around the top of itself? And again, if you've got one of the knee pads, really make sure there's not too much friction on it. What happens with your weight shift? Which leg does your weight tend to shift to when you turn your head to the left to look towards your left hand, or when you turn to your right to look towards your right hand? And this will be easier to feel, obviously, if your feet are a bit apart. If your feet are really close together, it's probably not going to be quite as easy to feel the weight shift. And your knees are soft, and your ankles are soft, and your hips are soft, and your chest is soft. Take your head away from the wall, have a rest. Let's see what's that done. And again, take as many rests as you like as we continue. What's that done to your walking or your standing? To be in yet another configuration where you need to find the top of your head. Okay, so when you're ready, go back to the wall. Okay, so what we're going to do here is take a general consensus of which way. Who finds it easier to turn the head to the right? And who finds it easier to turn your head to the left? Looks like the rights win. You can do it the other way. You just have to transpose if you want to. No? Okay, so top of your head on the top of your head, hands each side. You begin to turn your head to the right to look towards your right hand. Could you find a way to do this where your weight would transfer to your left foot? Could you find a way to do this so you're turning to the right and you're feeling that your weight goes a little bit more towards your left foot? And feel, how does your left leg respond to that? To take a little bit more weight? Does your knee bend a little bit more? Does it straighten? What would make it easier? Okay. So now, so we're going to keep going to the right here. This time, if your, say, your right hand was on 3 o'clock and your left hand was on 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock's on the wall above you, 6 o'clock is on the wall below you, could you move your right hand to 2 o'clock and your left hand to 8 o'clock? Right hand to 2 o'clock and your left hand to 8 o'clock. And begin again to turn your head to the right. What does this do through your torso? How's this different? Are you being asked to make a different shape? Can you find a way as you do this? So you're looking really now, so you're still looking toward your hand. No? Still finding a way that should be orienting towards to see your hand. And just really notice as you get this, your left, so you're still transferring weight a little bit more to your left leg. And can you find a way, what with your left knee, I think everyone's knee is beginning to bend a little bit, their left knee. Could you find a way that that knee could go forward, not rotate? Could you find a way that your left knee could begin to go forward rather than rotate? And what does that ask in your hip and your torso? So your head's turning around this axis. And take your head away again. See how that feels? What would this be a good activity for? Okay, exactly the same, except now your right hand will be at 1 o'clock, your left hand will be at 7 o'clock. Right hand will be up. So just simply feel, even to get your hands in that position, what do you have to do through your shoulders, through your chest, through your upper back? So again, you're going to turn your head again to the right to look towards your hand now, your right hand at 1 o'clock. Where's your weight going? Can you still find a way that your weight is going to the right? And maybe in such a way, sorry, to the left, and maybe in such a way that your right foot's getting a bit lighter off the floor. Maybe there's a way. Your right foot. Your weight's going to your left. As you're turning to the right. Your eyes are turning to look at your hand. Maybe there's just somewhere where your right leg somehow begins to get lighter. And again, have a rest, go for a walk. So do you think that this movement would be easier to do with extension or rounding in your low back? Flexion, probably. Going down a little bit. Yeah?
What's the question?
Would it be easier to do with extension or rounding in your low back? You can watch some people for a while. Do you think you were extending? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. So this movement is going to involve every plane of action. Every plane of action. Huh?
So such pressure stays on your head for quite a while, doesn't it? Feel like it's shutting down.
And again, play around with where you have your head. What's extension in your low back? Yeah. No. So where's that going to take your head? I'll come and stand right next to you, Yana. And again, that's not going to be the... Ginny, can you feel that difference when you round your low back a little bit as you go down? There, now go round. Yeah? Because again, if she's engaged these great big muscles, do it again in extension. Yeah? She's going to get... Can you feel the difference? Yeah? She's just going to get a bit stuck. No? And so it's not that you can't do it with a little bit, but if you're really arching, if you're really using those low back muscles, yeah, to really try and power you to do this, you're always looking to the right, your weight is going to the left, and you're finding a way that as you keep turning your head around itself, your right foot becomes free. So one of the most interesting things was when I was teaching this recently in Brisbane, and there was a woman who found it incredibly easy to do a headstand. Incredibly easy, and she was someone who could sort of just hold herself really long front and back. That's how she was. She was long front and back. She couldn't change her shape very much. No? This was so hard for her to do because all of a sudden she couldn't stay as a straight line, so her head was pushing so hard into the wall. So if you know you've got a pattern of really extending your low back, how about you get your head even lower? How about you get your head even lower? Yeah? To begin to find a way. If you know if your pattern is to really flex, maybe you go a little higher. And then you could have your hands at 12 and 6. And you're turning your head to look at your hand. You're always turning your head to look at your hand.
Fingers still facing up.
Wherever you want them to be. Doesn't matter. No? And you can feel your weight starts to come. Okay, come back to 3 and 9 now and see if you could do the same thing now, and your hands are going to move as your head moves. So they're going to start at 3 and 9 and they're going to slide on the wall. So it's like your eyes are starting off looking at your hand and they're tracking your hand the whole way. Your eyes start looking at your hand. So what is it about this eye hand that can really help some of you to get this a little clearer?
Oh, we don't.
Yeah.
We do that or we don't?
Yeah? Go a little lower, go a little lower. Get a little bit lower. Yeah? So your legs can soften a little bit more, Amanda. Yeah? Now look at this. First of all, look at this hand. Turn your head to look at this hand. Now, start off. There you go. And then now, slide the hand. There you go. Beautiful. Feel the difference when you get lower?
Yeah, it comes up more.
Yeah. So it's really you finding how much bend I need in my knees. Huh? And that's why I got you at the beginning, really feeling how the bend in your knees really influences what's available. So where would your right foot need to go if you wanted to keep turning? What would your left foot have to be able to do if you were going to keep turning? It's going to have to pivot. It's a puzzle. This is a great thing to do with kids. You have to bend your knee more, not less. You have to bend your knee more, not less. So, what's an activity where you move on your head? Breakdancing. Do you see them having straight legs? Yeah, but have you ever seen them do it with straight legs? Breakdancing, when they're on their heads.
Not on the head.
Yeah, I'm doing helicopter.
But they're,
The legs are still out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Bend your left knee. Good talking through. So you're really finding that I'm transferring my weight and my leg has to be soft. My leg has to be soft. My leg has to be soft. That I can take weight on it, and when it's soft, I can begin to pivot on it. This is a really good lesson to see people who get into ambition. Not saying anything, Madavi. Yeah, he's on the side of his face.
Yeah, we went on to the side, so it actually didn't transit.
So I wanted to finish with this lesson because this is such a process lesson. Yeah? That's what we're doing. Making a circle around our head. Making a circle around our head. But again, it's not important if you can do the circle. But at any point you get stuck, just stop. Hang on. No, Joel. It's because she hasn't got herself in a self-image. Whenever you get stuck, you've got to stop and remap. You've got to stop and remap. Where am I? Yeah? Where are my shoulders? Where is my pelvis? Where are my elbows? Where are my knees? You've got to remap at that point. Huh? You just don't know where you are. You just don't. That's beautiful, right? Ah, but look, Ray's found his way of doing it. It's beautiful, and he's gradually been moving his hands around, still feeling he can look at his hand. Huh? So the two keys that really help here are your eyes looking at your hand, your eyes looking at your hand. Your feet have to move. You lift one and then it has to pivot. Yeah. But it's your eyes looking at your hands. Go, Carol. So again, whenever you get lost, and we did all this with head circles, it's just in a different orientation, I can guarantee you that when you get lost, your eyes will be off somewhere that is not where your head is facing. Yeah? So you're getting different information from your eyes than from your head. Huh? Yay! You just got to look at your hand. And I think I've mentioned this too before. This eye-hand connection is profound to organise the chest. The eye-hand connection is profound to organise our chest. Huh?
Does it work on the opposite direction? If you start to organise the chest?
Your eye-hand will get better.
I'm thinking of kids
Yeah.
writing an eye-hand connection.
So go the other way, maybe. Actually, before you go the other way, have a walk. Some of you have already done it, but go for a walk, have a break. Go for a break, have a walk. What's different? I did see, Carol. Sense of achievement, wonderful thing in learning. A sense of ownership even. Sense of ownership. We mightn't have all the understanding yet, but the... Huh? So go to the floor again just for a minute and see if anything's happened to your 12 to 6. How are all these things connecting together? Or maybe even your whole pelvic clock. Has anything happened? To your 12 to 6, and maybe your whole pelvic clock. Is any part of you a little bit more in your image? Because that's what this work is about. And if you know what's different, where's it different? And are you scanning in the usual? Are you scanning the usual suspects? Maybe it's something in your toes or your ankle that's changed, or your knee. Maybe it's something's changed in your elbow or your wrists. Because we've really been using every part of yourself in this image. Maybe it's something in your shoulder blades or your sternum. Maybe it's just a sense I've got more space somewhere. Okay, come up to standing again. And now explore going to your left. But again, really break it down into its components. Even if you've already gone to the opposite side, really come back and break it down into its components. Yeah, you're going the other way, but you're going really slow now and breaking it down. You're looking for the detail now. My head turns now to the left. If you were going to the right before, your hands stay still. Your hands stay still. Go right back to the beginning. And again, just sense from that very beginning, how much is in my image? How much of me is in there? With my hands 3 and 9. How are my shoulder blades organising? Sternum. Where's that weight shift? What do I do this side? Do I want to come to my left, or can I find a way that I could go to my right? That my right knee could be, even though it's going to be the weight-bearing side, that it can soften. Can soften as I bring weight onto it. That my ankle can be soft. I've got softness in my ribs, belly. It's just such a powerful lesson to get people to soften in their legs. And to really feel as you do that, that your knee goes forward, because if your knee's twisting in, your hip isn't free. If your right knee is twisting in, your hip isn't free. So your right knee's still, the knee bends, it softens, it goes forward, and your pelvis can rotate around your right hip joint. And then you go to 10 and 4. That key of looking to your hand, looking to your hand, looking to your hand, keeping the top of your head on the feeling this weight shift, the weight shifts to your right. The weight shifts to your right leg softens. Your breathing is easy. Looking for the detail, but the detail is in sensation. My eyes are really looking to my hand. And another hour. Gradually build it up and feel, because every hour is asking you to organise differently through your shoulders, differently through your upper back, asking different ribs. Finding this way that now your left leg can become light. So you're not walking your feet around. It's not about walking your feet around. It's about your left leg getting light, 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 and your right leg so soft on the ground that it can swivel. that's not easy, feel free to walk around, but know that you're doing something different. So we're really organising over that you can really move your pelvis around your hip joint. Have a rest whenever you like. Go for a walk in your rest. Okay, everyone come away from the wall and go and rest on your back. So what's this done? Yeah, because we've been doing a lot of forward, back, left, right, finding the top of our head. And as you know, there's something about the left, right, forward, back really can help us to find length, which gives us easy turning. But you can feel that it's not a pure turning in your torso. There's all sorts of things happening. So the torso, can you imagine, it has to learn to shorten on the right, lengthen on the left. And as you shorten on the right and lengthen on the left, then your belly gets longer as you turn and change your shape. So it's like every position is getting asked to lengthen and shorten right around the circumference of your torso. So you sort of know every diameter through your middle. Okay, back to the wall, if you so choose. And this time you're going to move your hands as... That's what beanies are for. You're going to move your hands, but really you start with 3 to 9. Turn your head first. So you're really making sure you're looking at your left hand. So before your hands start moving, you've rotated your head to look to your left hand. And then you start sweeping your arms or moving your arms in this clock. And your eyes keep looking now at your left hand. So going to the right, the weight's coming to your right leg. The weight's coming to your right leg. So your left leg gets free. So as I said, there's lots of side bending in this. And there has to be side bending because we're shifting. Remember we said side bending is about moving left and right. It has a lot about shifting from one foot to the other. And again, whenever you get stuck, just pause. Where are you in space? Where are you? Where is everything? So we're really using your eyes and your hand as an external reference point. That's helping you to keep your reference to the outside world. eyes and hand absolutely track each other. As soon as your hand moves, your head moves. Okay, have a walk, see how it feels. What's different? Could you describe what's different? My life will never be the same again. I hope in a good way, Carol. It sure looks like in a good way, Carol.
Ultimate exercise to bring all of it together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Huh? So this is up to you. Do you want to have a go at a headstand? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't have to, please, but if you want to, just feel free. Yeah, no. Headstand on the floor. You know, the one, not the wall, the floor.
Hang on, you mean by lifting your feet up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Has something changed from all that you just had to get? Yeah. And is it something about your eyes? Is it something about your eyes that's changed? Mm. 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 There, the eyes are tracking. So something about the eyes, that softness in the eyes, that the eyes are congruent with what you're doing. No? Okay. Woohoo. Bit different, Glenn? Mm. Yeah, it's walking on his head. This organisation of the eyes with the head, with the hands. Okay, come up to standing. Up to standing, except Joel, who's, hey. Yay. Does that feel different, Yona? Yep. Sorry, I did. Because you were so in your process then, sorry. Yeah. So how do all these things tie together? No? Anyway, as you're standing at the moment, how much of yourself is in your image? Huh? If you were going to do a movement, I don't care what it is, can you feel how much of yourself would be in it? And especially if you go to something that you know, something you're used to doing that involves all of yourself. Okay, so with this sense of all of yourself, huh? How much is in your image? Because this is the most beautiful thing I see as I do trainings, the thing that really gets me, is what's your image? How can you keep this sensation and imagine being a Feldenkrais practitioner, a successful Feldenkrais practitioner? Did something just happen internally, or can you go back to that sense again? Because this is what's so beautiful to see as people go through this process, and being a Feldenkrais practitioner becomes part of their self-image. Part of their self-image. Yeah? And this is a huge part to you being a practitioner. Okay, have a walk around. ATM teachers. Huh? Feeling all these parts of yourself, the front and the back and the sides. Huh? And to know that this can only keep getting clearer, more expanded. And again, you know, this is what you want at the end of your ATM class, that you want them to be doing so. So they've got all of themselves. How can they incorporate, especially for some of you, into maybe your dreams? Huh? Yeah.
You mean our crazy Kelly at night time we dream?
Absolutely. Okay. So come around the front.